On today's episode of What's New at AGBU, we are here with Miss Lipschitz, our science teacher. We have a few questions for you.
All right.
Okay, first off, would you please tell us about yourself and about some of your favorite hobbies?
Okay. Well, I am from this area, so I've been in the valley my whole life. I live with my two adorable dogs that for hobby I love to take them on hikes all the time. They don't really like them though. I have to walk them out and then they sit down, and that means I have to pick them up and carry them home. But it's still fun. I also love to read, so I do have a book club that I run with people I went to college with. And I like to do yoga when I can squeeze that in.
Okay. What is your educational background?
So like I said, I'm from this area, so I went to public schools really close by, and then I went to UCLA to get my degree in anthropology. I mean, it's great. You know, this is something that is kind of new for me that I kind of fell into. It wasn't like a lot of people where I think they know from when they're young, they know they want to be a teacher. And for me, I started tutoring about 10 years ago. And from there, took classes in pedagogy, so learning how to teach in college and taught at my college. And then when I left, I started getting more involved in tutoring, taking it on full time. And then hadn't really thought about going into the classroom until I was offered a position. And I think it's been a really great transition. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice. Besides science, what activities do you enjoy?
Besides science, I think a lot of the activities I enjoy outside are kind of science related. So I really like learning about climate change and environmentalism. I'm actually what's called a climate reality leader, so I do some activism work when it comes to climate change. I really like to cook. I do a lot of cooking when I can. I'm really interested in plant-based diets, so I like seeing what new things I can make out of fruits and vegetables and herbs instead of using animal products that people normally do. So I have fun experimenting, making things that are like cheese, but that don't come from animals, or like meat, don't. So I have a lot of fun with that.
And what is your approach on classroom management?
Classroom management, I think a lot of it really depends on the class. So I come in really hoping to have a collaborative environment. I like to do projects and things where everyone can work together and really face some challenging things and assignments to see what they can do with them, see the creativity in that, and that's involved in the scientific process. But it really changes. Every one of my classes I run differently based on the students in them. So I try to do what's best for the people in those individual classes.
And what do you think is the hardest part of teaching?
The hardest part? Well, I think a lot of it was, I came from a tutoring background where I usually work one-on-one or with a few students at a time. And it's much easier in those scenarios to focus on how those kids learn best. But in having 25 students in a room, I can't necessarily just work in one method, one way that works for one person, because everybody learns differently. So I think the hardest part is building that connection and these learning methods that work well for as many people as possible.
And in your opinion, what's the best part of teaching?
The best part? Well, that's the students. I love getting to know everyone, and in class and outside of class, it's great when I love getting emails from parents that tell me that their kids are talking about the topics we learn in class. I know I had one student go to their doctor and talk to them about cell division because that's what we were studying in here, and that made me so happy. And when students come up to me and tell me how they didn't like science before and now they like it now, or that there's something they want to learn more about just for fun, it makes me really happy that I've been able to interest students enough.
And what did you know about Armenians before coming to the school, and what have you learned so far?
Before coming to the school, I knew very, very little. I knew about the Armenian genocide and some of the culture. I actually had a teacher at my high school was Armenian. She had informational things about some Armenian history, and more specifically the Armenian genocide that I would go to back when I was in high school, and it was really interesting. But coming here, I think what I've learned most and what most people want to talk about is the food. I feel everyone just wants to tell you about all the different Armenian foods and why they're so good, and gives me recipes. But I've also really liked going to the different cultural events. And remember, there was the singer, I unfortunately don't know his name, but he came, we went and all watched the singer in the gym, and that was amazing. I couldn't understand what was happening, but it was so pretty that watching that, and then also the day we had where there were dancers and performers, and when you performed so well playing the piano, I just really liked seeing all those different aspects of Armenian culture, even if I can understand the words.
Well, thank you, Ms. Lipschitz, for agreeing to our interview on another episode of What's New at AGBU. Bye!